Welcome to another video, guys. Less than 24 hours have passed since the new expansion came out, but we already have some pretty solid stats from HS Replay Premium. So in this video, I'm gonna show you what the best 5 decks are so far. So if you're serious about Hearthstone and would like to get better at the game, drop a like and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget you can hire me for some Hearthstone coaching. Now, let's get into it.
You are not prepared!
Before we get into the decks, I'd just like to remind you I have my new Raid Shadow Legends channel going, and I gotta say, I've been enjoying the hell out of this game. I've been playing Raid for almost 2 years now, and the game is really a lot better than you might actually think. I know a lot of people talk poorly about this game, and I myself also did not enjoy it too much back in the day when I tried it, but the game is totally different for the past few years, and I really think you might enjoy it if you actually gave it a shot. There's so many cool champions in here you can collect, and you could upgrade each and every one of them completely differently to get some amazing results in all of the different areas of the game. The graphics are out of this world and you could play it both on PC and on mobile. I myself definitely prefer it on PC, however. And yeah, it's just a really solid game. Also, you have up until the end of March to actually get your hands on a new legendary Void champion in your first 24 hours of your new account. All you gotta do is write Supreme 6 and you're gonna get your hands on this Supreme Galek Void legendary champion, which is an absolutely amazing way for you to actually start the game. Not only that, but you can also use my download link in the comment section or from the video description, and that's gonna give you a couple of amazing champions to start the game off strong as well. Hope to see you on the battlefield. Obviously, the first deck on the list is gonna have to be the Armor Death Rattle Starship Demon Hunter. I was kinda excited about playing, but this deck is absolutely broken right now, and I can assure you it's gonna get hotfixed really soon, I do believe. The deck is kinda ruining the freaking expansion, not gonna lie. Like, facing this deck over and over again is absolutely no joke. And look at this nonsense. Arcanite Defense Crystal has 70% win rate, which really makes the deck broken as hell. And the main reason why this thing is so broken is they basically get to revive this guy over and over and over again. And what I mean by over and over and over again, I really mean it. Like over and over and over again. Like, that's not even all of them. Like, let's not get into details, but this is actually kind of broken. I would not be surprised if this card gets bumped to 5 mana somehow, because that would break a lot of the interactions here. Like, Ravenous Fellhunter would no longer be able to do the stupid broken thing like this, but if you still haven't tried this deck and you want to experience a little bit of a degeneracy, this would be a pretty good deck for you. The main reason why this thing is so broken is, if it curves out somewhat well, you really don't have much to do against it. It's like kinda inevitable for you to just lose to it, because they just stack a gajillion amounts of starship pieces, and they just play Ceaseless Expanse into Axdra smack you in the mouth. And if that's not enough, they also have Kill Jaden, and not to mention Ferocious Fellbat could actually revive those absurd starships with over 100 HP and such. This variant is also running the Shattered Turret, which is gonna help you stabilize the game even easier, because this thing has Rush and Wind Fury, so that's gonna be a lot easier for you to control the board with. And also, once you actually launch your starship, you will be able to clap a couple of things with it, so you really ensure you're not gonna be dying. We also have a couple of Immolation Auras, a couple of Infiltrates, and that way you should be able to curve into your degenerate stuff easily. And yeah, you can just check out my gameplay video with this deck if you want to see it in action. Matchup wise, here's what the stats are showing. Almost everything is green except for Imbue Hunter, and here I guess King Plush could just actually waltz through them their taunts, but still some of that armor shenanigans they could be gaining might not be super easy to handle. Mulligan wise, you're definitely looking for your Arcanite Defense Crystal. The weapon is great, Grim Harvest ain't bad. The other starship piece, the turret, is pretty decent. Eladari is okay, but as you see, people keep a lot of it, but they don't actually win a lot of it. Ravenous Fellhunter, I guess, also could be a consideration, even though I'd say you have to have a pretty perfect hand to be keeping a 5-drop like that. As for on the coin, here I'd say you could also consider some removal options like Immolation Aura or Infiltrate, but still the gist of it, you want to find the Arcanite Defense Crystal quickly. On the number 2 spot, we also have Leech Death Knight, and this is the other deck I was excited about trying. Not this exact variant, but pretty much the gist of it. Yeah, the Leech package is super strong. Being able to suck the opponent even under their armor could be pretty broken, even though against Armor Demon Hunter this deck doesn't usually stand too much of a chance if they curve out semi-well. You have a lot of control tools with this one. You have a decent amount of tempo as well with the Hideous Husk. And you you have tons of card draw thanks to the Sanguine Infestation with the Chill Fallen Baron. That kind of stuff can be really powerful. You could even discover yourself extra leeches with the help of Rite of Atrocity. Creature of Madness gives you some random nonsense free drops with the added benefit of the Dark Gift. I'm not really sure this card really makes too much sense in the deck, but so far this is what the stats are showing. Lord Xavius can give you some pretty broken stuff, including Hideous Husk that trigger their battle cry twice, or just summon an extra 2/2, making your sucks 5 a pop, which could be pretty powerful. You also have a lot of inevitability with extra resources with Headless Horseman, with Kill Jaden. Shellendrasil is also in here, and all of these corrupted dreams, or more like nightmares, are super broken. And you also even have the 8 hands from Beyond, so you can actually break some combos for opponents and whatnot. Ursa can be super solid, Ziliax is in here with the Twin and Perfect module, and still we have Ceaseless Expanse, which definitely seems like it's still a pretty problematic card, so I would not be surprised if that also gets slapped. Matchup-wise, here's what the stats are showing. Imbue Paladin, Death Knights, not so great against Armor Demon Hunter, and not so great against Imbue Protoss Mage, but so far it's looking kind of promising with above 60% win rate. Going first, here's what we have. Apparently Creature of Madness is a pretty good card. I don't know, really not super sold on it, but I guess it does help you curve out with something pretty broken on turn 3, so maybe I'm just a dumbass for not seeing its true potential. Dreadhound Handler, pretty decent still. Baron gives you the card draw. The Infested Breath is pretty decent to deal with early game aggression. Morbid Swarm on 1 for a couple of ants ain't bad. Xavius can be super solid. Sanguine is pretty good. Rite of Atrocity is also pretty decent. The rest probably not so hot. And on the coin, plenty of the same, but here I'd say you could also consider some removal options too. On number 3 spot, we also have Protoss Imbue Mage, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, I did manage to see a few of these mages on ladder, and they were looking pretty promising indeed. It's kind of cool to finally see Protoss Mage actually doing quite well. And also, apparently, the Imbue package also helps it nicely. We have quite a few new cards. Well, obviously, all of the good Imbue cards like Bitterbloom Knight, the Flutterwing Guardian, the Wisp Rider, obviously Icena, or however you pronounce the shit. Spirit Gatherer is also pretty decent, that kind of stuff. And we also have all of the good Protoss packaging here too. Except for the Open the Waygate, or whatever the hell that card was called. We don't really look for that. Malorn is pretty nice in here for the Imbue package. Observer of Mysteries, a single copy. Sounds like it's not super important, but it could be problematic for some opponents. A little bit of anti-tempo never hurt nobody. So yeah, you could be doing a decent amount of damage both with your imbued hero power as well as with the Colossus at the end, especially with the 0 mana Ceaseless to remove everything from the board, so you can actually hit the imbue damage in the face. And also the Colossus could be doing a decent amount of damage with the help of all of the Proto spells you do possess. Matchup wise, here's what the stats are showing. Again, Armor Demon Hunter is going to be the deck that's going to be a problematic for you. Everything else pretty good, however. So as soon as this thing gets fixed, hopefully soon, we should be having a jolly good time with this one. As for the mulligan, here's what we have right now. You're looking for all of the good imbue stuff. Scarab Keychain on 1 ain't too bad. Photon Cannon is also okay. Chrono Boost can be good. Shield Battery ain't bad. The rest probably not so hot. Even though if you're curving into the Flutter Wing, also I wouldn't be a stranger to that. As for on the coin, again, plenty of the same stuff. So mulligan accordingly. On the number 4 spot, this deck actually has not that big a sample size, but pretty decent win rate, so take this one with a grain of salt. It's only 400 games, where the other ones were in the thousands. But this one actually had the highest win rate, so there's that too. I'm not sure if people just surprised the early meta with a super fast deck like this. It's pretty tokeny and sticky, but it definitely does look like it's pretty promising. Funny thing about this deck is it literally has no new cards. Just this one. Give a minion +2 and Death Rattle, give a friendly minion +2 and this Death Rattle. So literally nothing else is new for this deck, so if you haven't gotten yourself the new expansion, this might actually be a pretty worth deck to be trying. It's a fast, aggressive token hunter, basically. Tokens Jerk Hunter. And you could do a lot of shenanigans with the help of the Hydralisk. You also have a Death Rattle package with things like Nerubian Egg, Extraterrestrial Egg, the Terrascale Stalker, which is pretty decent nowadays, sitting only at 2 mana. Hydralisk with a lot of damage to the face with the Zergs. Terrible Chef, so you can get yourself extra eggs like that. And we even have RC Rampage to flood the board, as well as Ziliax, which is going to be the Pylon module plus Ticking module, which is still decent, even though it doesn't give health no more. For the matchups, we don't have matchups yet, just like I said. It's just a little bit too low of a sample size, but I would advise you if you have nothing to lose, basically. It's a very obtainable deck, because it has no new cards. If you don't have anything better to do, you might want to try this one out yourself. It does look pretty promising. As for the mulligan, going first, you want to be curving out with the good 1s and 2s. And if you have that already, you could even consider some of the free drops, but yeah, definitely the 1s and 2s would be the MVPs here. And for on the coin, again, plenty of the same stuff, so you should be looking for basically the same things, even though you could be thinking about what the matchup actually would require. And on the last spot, this one is having actually a lot less win rate than the first 3 decks I showed. Still has pretty decent sample size. But it's sitting at around 56% win rate, so it's not that hot as the other ones, which were above 60, all of them. So take it with a grain of salt, but yeah, if you're trying to play something new for Warlock, this deck is actually doing quite well right now. It's having quite a few other new cards, including Rothart Dryad, which draws you a minion that costs 7 or more. So that way you get to fish out things like your Wallow of the Wretched, like Seaside Giant, like Ceaseless Expanse, that kind of stuff. We have the Avant Gardening, discover a Death Rattle minion with a Dark Gift, which could be pretty cool. Still, the creature is in here, even the Raptor is here, which is kind of weird. A bunch of the locations are obviously in here, hence the name, Location Wallow Warlock. But yeah, it's actually not weird having this thing, because it's all about getting a bunch of Dark Gifts and then slapping silly with the Wallow. Because if you get charged on this with Wind Fury, with all of that nonsense, it's basically kind of an OTK kind of deal. We have a good amount of removals with things like Domino Effect, which nowadays is a 4-mana actually, and now that I think about it, no, it's not a good amount of removals, it's pretty much just this thing, Ceaseless, and Ultralisk if we want to call it removal. Horizon's Edge is also in here. Treacherous Torment is also in here for extra Dark Gift stuff. The Overgrown Horror probably works pretty well in the deck. So yeah, it's basically pretty scary with the help of Wallow the Wretched, even though I'm not sure it's gonna do all that well against all those Armored Demon Hunters, but then again, who would? And yeah, we can see it's in the negative against those, and a little bit in the positive against Leech Demon Death Knight. But for now, those are the stats. Going first, here's what the stats are showing for now. You're gonna want to curve out with the locations, with the Creature of Madness, that kind of stuff. And on the coin, again, Location, Creature of Madness, and Dryad still are gonna be at the top of your naughty list. And the rest you can see for yourself. All around, that's it for the top 5 decks. Here's the Hunter I showed you. Here's the Armored Demon Hunter, the Leech Death Knight, the Protoss Mage sitting at above 59, and a bit lower, like I said, Location Warlock not as hot, but with a pretty decent sample size. Other than that, we can see other things like Protoss Rogue doing kind of fine, Imbue Hunter doing okay, Menagerie Death Knight looks interesting. It's actually kind of fast with topping off with just a Husk, so kind of interesting indeed. But definitely not that high win rate, at least for now. Imbue Druid is in the positive, but not by much, so not that hot, I'd say. Imbue Paladin definitely is not as strong as I thought it would be. So yeah, these are the early stats. I will be keeping you guys posted when we have a little bit of more stats, but for now, this ought to do it for you to actually have something to play around with. Definitely don't craft too much for the Armored Demon Hunter. It is clear as day that deck is not going to remain like it is right now. It is just way too powerful, way too annoying to play against, and just all around a miserable experience for everybody involved. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, a like and subscribe would really be appreciated, and don't forget to check out my raid channel if you want to watch some top quality raid content. Thanks for watching, I'm Kris05, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.